Has he done it? Reverb. Jai Prabhupada! Jai Prabhupada! Jai Prabhupada! Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Louder, please.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With all your hearts, everyone.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Ye Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Let's do it together in one voice, everyone. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, and again, but even louder, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Jayo Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Radhe.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radha.
Jayo Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radhe Radhe. Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jayo Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman.
Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman.
Jayo Gaura Nitai, Jayo Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jayo Gaura Nitai. Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Oh! Jayo Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Oh! Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much, Jagannath Kirtananda Prabhu and team. Can we give a big round of Haribol for them? That was an amazing kirtan. Thank you so much. On behalf of ISKCON Bhaktivedanta Manor, we would like to welcome all of you for today's special festival on celebrating Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And also a special welcome to all of Srila Prabhupada disciples, and a very special welcome to His Holiness Chandramauli Maharaj to the festival. Haribol. So today's theme on celebrating Srila Prabhupada, we try to do these festivals every year. You know, Vyasa Puja is busy and not everybody gets the chance to express themselves. Also, it's very quiet. It's the day after Janmashtami, so a lot of casualties on the day. So we try another festival for celebrating Srila Prabhupada. Theme. Is there another mic, Prabhu? Today's theme for celebrating Srila Prabhupada, I was told, is on how Srila Prabhupada delivered the essence of the past, the present, and the future. You see, there are three types of people in the world. Some people are traditionalists, so they think that everything in the past was much better, and the world would be a much better place if we go back to the way things were thousands of years ago. Okay, traditionalists. Then there are people who are existentialists who think now is the time, okay? Everything is now, the power of now. It's all about the now. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. It's all now. And then there are people who are utopian, who think in the future everything will be okay. Obviously things were very bad in the past. They're even worse now. But if we work towards a certain future, then everything in the future will be okay. Now, Prabhupada was neither a traditionalist, he wasn't an existentialist or a utopian. Srila Prabhupada was a transcendentalist. He took the essence from everywhere. He took the essence from the past, he delivered this essence in the present, and he also explained how we can all be more transcendental in the future. So that is today's theme. And if you look at this art behind you, now it's a special work of art. There's a bit of story behind it. So this was done by Andrew Prabhu. So Andrew Prabhu's over there. So if you can please give a big round of applause for him. He did this art specifically for today. He's very shy, so he doesn't really know what to say now. But thank you, Andrew Prabhu. So there's a few layers. You see, there's a layer in the back. Okay, there's a layer in the back which represents the past, how there was Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada. And then there's a layer of the present and the future, which represents his disciples and future generations to come. I'm probably not explaining this properly, but the idea is that different layers may not all be visible at the same time, but they're there and they've made an impact on the present and will make an impact in the future. So that is the story behind the art. Andrew Prabhu is a bit shy, so he didn't want to speak, but I don't know how much of a justice I'm doing to his diagram. But I'll speak to him a bit more and I'll tell you more about the art later on. But we do want to start the program. So first of all, I had a wife somewhere. Where is she? Oh, I still have a wife. Okay. This is Kishori. So Kishori is going to introduce, she's going to take you through the schedule and more.
Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. It's so nice that we're all here celebrating Srila Prabhupada. So we have a very fun-packed day. We have got dramas happening. We've got a special talk by His Holiness Chandramuni Maharaj. We have also got a special offering to Srila Prabhupada at the end in the form of a tree, which more will be revealed later. However, I would like to now welcome our very dear temple president, Her Grace Vishaka Prabhu. I'm going to give an introduction because it's nice to glorify a Vaishnavi, even though all of you probably know her glories. But Vishaka Prabhu is a dear disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She's also our glorious, glorious temple president. She's an author. And something that inspired me when I first started getting into Krishna consciousness was that I binged watched the Following Srila Prabhupada on YouTube. Raise your hands if any of you have seen the Following Srila Prabhupada. Okay, amazing. So it's so beautiful, and I felt like I was being transported back in the past to a really, really special time. And so her and her husband put this together. They've also done an amazing documentary, and a lot of the pictures that we see of Srila Prabhupada now that are displayed in different ways have been taken by Vishaka Prabhu and her husband also. So how should we do it? Let's do the classic Haribol. Let's all raise our hands in the air, and let's do 3 big Haribols for Vishaka Prabhu. Haribol! Haribol!
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvase Sasunyavadi Paskyata Deshatarane Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you all so much for coming. We're very grateful that you're here to glorify, to celebrate Srila Prabhupada, such a unique personality that we are so fortunate to be under his shelter. I want to thank Chandramali Swami for kindly gracing us and giving the keynote address. And a special thanks to Nrityapriya and her husband, Nrityapriya Radha and her husband, Achyuta Gora Prema Prabhus, for masterminding this ceremony and giving so much enthusiasm and energy and thought to it, gathering us all together. We're very grateful, and thank you all for coming. I wanted to say briefly that many years ago, we made a film called Your Ever Well-Wisher, my husband and I, about Srila Prabhupada's life and teachings. And for that film, we interviewed a professor of religion named Thomas Hopkins. He taught in Franklin and Marshall College in Pennsylvania. So he said that he was doing his PhD, his dissertation, on the Bhagavad Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is in the early 60s. And he said that at that time in the United States, there were 2 copies of the Bhagavad Purana. One was in the library of Harvard University. The second was in the library of Yale University. So for him to do his dissertation, he had to go to one of those 2 libraries. Then he got a post teaching, and one of his students showed him an article from the New York Times about a Radha Krishna temple on the Lower East Side in New York City. So he went there. He went to the Lower East Side, 26 2nd Avenue, went inside, and on a little table right near the door, he saw Bhagavad Purana, first canto, 3 volumes that Prabhupada had brought with him on the Jaladuta, and they were there in 26 2nd Avenue. And he asked one young man who was standing there, "What is this?" And the young man had no idea what it was. So over the years, he was remarking that 10 years later, you could go to any major airport in the United States and be offered the Bhagavad Purana. It is truly, truly phenomenal what Srila Prabhupada did. Previously, 2 copies in the entire country, this cream of Vedic literature, and then people are coming up to you in the airport asking you to purchase Bhagavad Purana. This is the potency of Srila Prabhupada, and we are so fortunate to be recipients of his mercy and his teachings. So thank you for coming. All glory is to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Vishaka Mataji. So now we would like to welcome His Holiness Chandramouli Maharaj onto the stage, and he's going to address us on Srila Prabhupada. So can everybody welcome him with 3 big rounds of Haribol. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming. To celebrate Srila Prabhupada is the best way to honor Lord Shri Krishna. By serving and glorifying the pure devotee of the Lord, especially someone of the caliber of Srila Prabhupada, you touch the heart of Krishna. Simply by this effort to glorify and to remember and, of course, most important, to carry out the directions that Srila Prabhupada gave us in that process of pure devotional service. Om Gyanti Mirandasya Gena Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvasesa Sunyavari Paschatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Taruvischa Kripa Sindhu Paepacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Let's try one more time. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I'll start off by reading something that a very dear god sister of mine, who is also a very senior Prabhupada disciple, her name is Govinda Dasi, and she came across this article that was written in 1970. It's not all actually an article, it's just a little short paragraph or two about Srila Prabhupada. It was written in one particular newspaper. And this is what it says. And this article was found in her attic in 1970 and said, "Nobody can read this chart." So this is the astrologer. "If they say they can, they are simply lying." He's talking about Prabhupada. "This personality comes and goes as his own sweet will. He is not bound by anyone or anything. The stars are lined up perfectly. There is no question of karma. He is working directly under the will of God. And when he writes, his pen does not have in it ink. His pen has it in it fire, which will burn the ignorance of the entire world." Pretty powerful. 1970, that was spoken by an astrologer. So we get a little insight of Srila Prabhupada, who he is. Of course, we can never understand who he is. He's a Nitya Siddha. That means he actually came to do this work in this world at this particular time, to uplift the entire human culture to the standard of devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada, before he came to the United States, he was planning his mission. After he met his spiritual master in 1922 in Calcutta, and ever since then, he was constantly thinking how to spread Krishna consciousness. Of course, Srila Prabhupada's first attempt was to do it in India. And that's after some time he had started one group called the League of Devotees, which in a place called Jhansi, not far from New Delhi. But after some time, because of some local politics, things fell apart, and he could not continue with his mission there. But that's actually was an arrangement by the Lord, because the Lord actually wanted him to go to the West. His spiritual master actually wanted him to go to the West. So any endeavors in any fruitful way that Prabhupada made to spring Krishna consciousness to the Western world, to India, was lost. Not lost, but never developed beyond a certain point. And of course, in 1965, we know Prabhupada came, and the rest is history. But before he came, he was planning his mission, and he was writing his particular precepts on how he wanted to apply the transcendental process of devotional service in the Western world. And he took some inspiration from Mahatma Gandhi, who was a person, although he was a politician, he never neglected his spiritual life. He was always doing his prayers daily, wherever he was visiting temples. And he had a vision for the local farmers in India, mostly the village people, to set up a self-sufficiency within villages. So Gandhi was also a visionary. And Prabhupada took some of the ideas that Gandhi wanted to put in place and did, both on the personal level and on a broader level. and used them as a springboard for developing his vision and practicing or applying Krishna consciousness. And 4 things that Prabhupada emphasized in his, he wrote one paper, this was in 1949, to the President of India. His name was Dr. Sardar, and he addressed the paper towards him, showing what he wanted to do in his idea of bringing Krishna consciousness to the Western world. Prabhupada was already planning to go. This was in 1949, 1950. And 4 points that he made, which was spread the glories of Lord Chaitanya's mission in every town and village through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam Sankirtan. Educate and people into the science of bhakti based on the transcendental knowledge coming from the Vedas, and write books, translate the ancient Vedic scriptures, and write books based on those translations and present it within the Western society. Prabhupada studied after he went to America, he studied very carefully the culture of the Western people, particularly the Americans, to get an idea how they do things and how they act and react. And so he also formulated a certain understanding based on his own experiences with his early years in developing Krishna consciousness, and he wrote his Bhaktivedanta purports with that precept in mind, that to give it straight the way that it is in the Vedas or the way the Acharyas gave it, yes, but also giving it in a more practical way so people could understand it according to time, place, and circumstance. That's the quality of a great soul. That not only they deliver the pure message, but they deliver it in such a way that is understandable and also applicable to the people they're talking to, the people they're preaching to. And that's the essence of really spreading Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada he was developing a vision. He hadn't had that vision yet. The vision actually came when he actually came to the West. Another point was education, and this is the big thing. When Prabhupada came to America, he put down on paper the 7 purposes of ISKCON. I'm sure many of you know what they are, and I'm just going to read maybe 1 or 2 of them to give it a little insight of what Srila Prabhupada wanted for our whole development of our society. If I can find it, I think I can, hopefully. Okay, yeah. And these are, and I'll read. The first one is really the broadest and most inclusive of all of them. And that was to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, and to educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. I mean, Prabhupada was in a little storefront, and there was a few hippies who were coming to hear his lectures. He was giving Bhagavad Gita classes and also making some prasadam for the guests as they were coming. But his vision was broad. He was thinking worldwide. In fact, he was thinking even worldwide even before he came to America. He never thought small. Never thinking that, well, if we can have a nice little temple here, that would, no, he was thinking, this will be the springboard for the worldwide movement. This is Prabhupada's vision. And so education became what was his major thing, through translating the previous acharyas, writing his Bhaktivedanta purports based on their what we say, principles that they gave from the essence of the Shastras and expanding on that, and also giving classes on nectar devotion, on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada was very big on education because he says that's the foundation for the execution of devotional service. And I'm not going to deal with any negativity. I'm talking all positive today. What's happening, or what I'm talking about, what's happening and where we're going and what we've established so far, not what's wrong. I mean, that's a whole nother class, but that's not my mood. Because to talk about what's not happening is not really going to help us understand how to make things happen. So the idea is, the whole process that Prabhupada emphasized was education, systematic education. And he said that our temples are educational arenas. In other words, we should instruct and teach people based on our Shastras, nectar devotion, nectar of instructions, Sri Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and of course, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, which are the essence. And so Prabhupada wanted, as much as we could, to give this knowledge to people in general, in a systematic way. And he did that, of course, according to his level of preaching. He took it around the world and established temples so they could be educational institutions for teaching people what actually is the real goal of life. Because people have an understanding that the goal of life is somehow or other to make a nice arrangement in this material world for long life, for some kind of material amenities that will satisfy the needs of the body, the mind, or even the intelligence, but missing the main point. That's why Prabhupada said, to check the imbalance within the world. So what is that imbalance? So much emphasis on body, mind, and hardly any or real emphasis on who we are, where are we going, what is the goal of life, and how to get there, and who is that person now that he's teaching? Sri Krishna himself. That was Prabhupada. So he put a lot of emphasis on education. Number 2, to propagate a consciousness of Krishna as is revealed in the great scriptures of India, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. So that follows the first one. Number 3, to bring the members of society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, the prime entity, thus developing the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the quality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. To teach and encourage the Sankirtan movement, congregational chanting of the holy name as revealed in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and to erect for the members of the society a large holy place of transcendental pastimes for the dedication to the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. Number 6 is interesting, to bring the members closer together for the purpose of teaching a more simpler, natural way of life. When Prabhupada left the world in 1977, but before he left, especially during those months up leading to November 14th, 1977, when Prabhupada actually disappeared, he spoke a lot about this part of his mission, how to create more and more consciousness amongst the members of a society to become more and more self-sufficient and not so much dependent on the external world for whatever we need in terms of our livelihood and for our, of course, practice of spiritual life. And so Prabhupada said, 50% of my mission still needs some attention. And he said that was Varnashram Dharma, the 4 Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. But not in the materialistic way, to educate devotees within these categories, because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnas maya shrista, guna karma vibhagasaha. These 4 orders of life are created by me. They're intrinsic within the human culture. There are people who have tendencies towards these 4, but without the educational process, it remains what we say covered or hidden, doesn't come manifested. So Prabhupada said, if we could somehow or other develop this Varnashram, then we can organize not only our society, but will be an example for the entire world. Because he said the entire world is upside down because people don't know how to make a livelihood. Everything is based on so much on money and not so much on quality and education that comes by way of one's natural proclivities for activities. And that's there within each and every one. So that was Prabhupada's focus for his last year. Of course, he mentioned it even earlier. In 1974, Prabhupada had been talking about Varnashram. If you hear his lectures, he talks about it all the time, practically in every other lecture. Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Sudras, their duties, their education, their responsibilities, the unification of these 4 Varnas and how it makes a holistic society as the basis for the execution of one's spiritual practice. So Prabhupada's vision was Daivi Varnashram, which means spiritual Varnashram, to engage, to educate, and to engage devotees in a process of education based on evaluation, and by evaluation and then designating, well, this person, based on the education, the evaluation, his tendency or her tendency is to serve in that way, and to engage people like that. And that was Prabhupada's vision. So his first idea was to set up a Varnashram college in order for the Brahmanas, in a collective manner, to be teaching all of the Varnas the different activities of each and every Varna. And that was Prabhupada's idea. We've done that to some degree, but we haven't put a lot of emphasis on it. So you might say, I'm talking about the future, or you might say I'm talking about the present, which may lead to the future, and that is that Prabhupada wanted this as part of his mission, to establish a social system based on education and personal character, nature, and engage people accordingly. And Prabhupada wanted each and every devotee in our society to do some service. Not as a responsibility, but as a way to push forward Krishna consciousness. Because service connects us with Krishna, service connects us with Srila Prabhupada. And so Prabhupada's vision was, yes, we're doing some service, but if we're thinking in terms of how we can progress in our own process of Krishna consciousness, that's, of course, that's necessary. But Prabhupada said we should adopt a vision how we can take Krishna consciousness outside, around the world, through education, through various types of programs to reach out. And that's being done. I must say, from my own experiences in traveling different places, I see there are so many programs now that what Prabhupada has given us in his books and in his lectures has been adopted and practiced, and then also explained and preached in different ways. So Srila Prabhupada had that vision for all of us, both on a personal level, because it helps each and everyone develop in their own Krishna consciousness, and also Prabhupada's vision was we shouldn't be happy with our own Krishna consciousness. Even if we're Krishna conscious, we shouldn't be satisfied. We just think, what can I do to satisfy Srila Prabhupada's desire to make the whole world Krishna conscious. That was Srila Prabhupada's way of preaching to us. And he made that an emphasis. So he put a lot of time and attention on educating devotees and helping them become responsible to know this knowledge and to be able to practice it and also to preach it. And you see around the world people from nothing connected to Krishna consciousness directly, but people are learning about reincarnation now. It's becoming, I mean, that's been going on for years. A lot of the things, and people are doing kirtan. They're not many of them not even connected to their movement, but they're chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. And there people are also reading Srila Prabhupada's books and getting ideas on how they can improve their own life based on what Srila Prabhupada's given us. So this Krishna consciousness is spreading in a very interesting way. And of course, even very highly qualified people in the material world are becoming more and more interested in our movement, at least for the principles that Srila Prabhupada gave us in a practical way, where they can apply these things in their own life. And you might say it's a kind of a mixture of spiritual and material success. But still, because it has the element of the spirituality, as that propagates and proliferates more and more, naturally it will come back to ISKCON as the vanguard or the source of all of this has come. And people are seeing that also. And many of the values that we teach are being adopted by people in the world. And devotees are out there presenting Krishna consciousness according to people's ability to understand, or according to their struggles in the material world to find some kind of satisfaction, relationships, better quality in their livelihood, such as health. Prabhupada talked a lot about that too. Because everything that Prabhupada gave is holistic. He not only gave us a spiritual movement, he taught us how to live. He taught us how to live. And the emphasis was that, and now I'm going to speak a little differently. Prabhupada said in 1973, and it's recorded, he said, "We cannot depend on this Western materialistic society to be able to provide all of the things we need in order to live, both spiritually and materially." He said, gradually, this society will crumble. And he said in 50 years, that was in 73, he said the whole Western society will collapse. It's collapsing now. If you're not sure, just take a look. It's collapsing now. Things are falling apart all over the place, and the world is in great turmoil now. So more than ever, people are looking for answers, for ways out of this, the difficulties that they're undergoing. And we have all of the answers. It's all there in Prabhupada's instructions, Prabhupada's books, and in the lives of the devotees who are following Srila Prabhupada. So, and that's Prabhupada's desire. That's the desire of the Acharyas, that's the desire of Krishna, and that's especially the desire of Lord Chaitanya, is to make Krishna consciousness everywhere. Now, some people will say, well, that's not possible. But Prabhupada's idea was more general, and that comes out in the first point, where he said that ultimately, we're not trying to change people's religion. We're not trying to make Christians into Hare Krishnas. We're not trying to make Islam into Hare Krishnas. We're trying to teach those spiritual principles that are fundamental to all true religious movements, which is the foundation for the success of any spiritual movement. That's being lost in many areas. So Prabhupada gave that in the form of his teachings, because he said our movement is not a religious movement. it's a movement for the spirit, the re-spiritualization of the entire world. And that goes beyond any material, any, what we say, designation. It's not Hindu, it's not Christian, it is the essence of life to love and serve God, to work in such a way as the service to the Lord is because the prime focus of each and every living entity. So that cuts through all sectarian barriers and goes right into the heart of the essence of spirituality. So Prabhupada, just like there was one example where one of my god sisters, her father, Prabhupada invited her to invite her father to come and join us. So she said, okay, so she invited her father. Her father said, well, if I come, I'm going to practice my own religion. I'm not going to practice Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said, fine, no problem. You can practice your own religion. So Prabhupada wasn't out to, change people's way of practice, but to purify their way of practice through eternal religious principles, teaching the essence that ultimately we're not this body, we are spirit soul. Ultimately, we are not, success in spiritual life is not accredited to how successful we are in our material pursuits. It's based on the purification of the heart, which is the essence of all religious teachings, to love and serve God, and to follow that process that awakens that love and serving God. So Prabhupada was universal. He was universal. And in presenting this knowledge, cutting across all sectarian barriers. It's like sometimes people would say, well, I want to chant the name of God according to my understanding or my practice. Prabhupada said, fine. Yeah, but chant the name of God. Don't create some other name, but find what is authorized according to religious principles. One can chant the name of God in any tradition. And at the same, all of these principles that Prabhupada taught, most of them, of course, there are some that are different, and that's basically on the higher level when we get into the intimacy of relationships. But on the basic level, spirituality is universal. And there's not like one type of spirituality and another type. It's a presentation of that knowledge that is the essence of the soul's existence, or the essence of the soul's relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's interesting. That's interesting. So Krishna consciousness is spreading nicely, I think, around the world. There are many people who are becoming more and more active in Krishna consciousness, and devotees are going around and presenting. I think Bhaktivedanta Manor is doing a wonderful job in outreach in many areas. But we want everybody, not just 50% of the congregation or 25%. We want each and every soul to take part in some kind of program which will inspire others to take up Krishna consciousness. You can imagine if how many practitioners do we have in the world today? We have millions. If you go around the world, in places like Russia, there's more than 100,000 devotees in Russia. Most of them are initiated. We have so many devotees all around the world. So as everyone takes part in doing service in such a way as to propagate this movement, the world will become spiritualized in no time. Prabhupada told us that. He told us that. Because this movement of Lord Chaitanya is so powerful. It's so powerful, and it can work instantaneously. And Prabhupada said, he told us, kind of like a mild chastisement. He said, we can make the whole world Krishna conscious in 18 days, but you're not ready. In other words, become purified. And as you become purified, you purify others. And as people become pure, just like Lord Chaitanya, when he was traveling, he left Navadvip, of course, and he went to meet Sanatana Rupa Goswami and Ramkeli. But then from there, he went to South India and started to travel and just chant the holy names. And everywhere he was going, people were coming and following him and chanting. And every person that contacted him became inspired to chant, and they also inspired others to chant. So it's mentioned that Lord Chaitanya practically made the entire subcontinent of India Krishna conscious when he was there. Of course, someone asked Prabhupada, well, Lord Chaitanya did it in India, why didn't he just do it around the world? He's God, he could have did it easy. But then Prabhupada said, he left it for me. It's one of the qualities of Krishna. He likes to empower his devotees to do wonderful work on his behalf, and he gives the credit to his devotees. Of course, the devotees become purified at the same time, but then that's the Lord. The Lord is not so much interesting. He's doing everything through his devotees. He's empowered them. He gives them the intelligence. Krishna says, I am the intelligence of the intelligence. He says, I am the ability in all living beings. So that ability and that intelligence and that vision that comes from that is actually Krishna. But when someone adopts it and makes it happen, they get the mercy. That's Krishna. Krishna likes to give credit to his devotees. So, and Srila Prabhupada showed how complete surrender to Krishna, one can do so many wonderful things to spread Krishna consciousness. And that's the most important thing in the world today. Because people are suffering. People are really suffering. People are looking for three things. Of course, they're looking for more than three, but three things is people are struggling so much on relationships, how to develop actually happy and meaningful relationships. They can't find it. And they're going from one situation to another. Another thing they're looking for is some goal in life where they can focus and actually become, what we say, fixed. The goals that were now presented in the 1980s and the 1990s are no longer people's goals anymore. Because people are starting to see that none of these things are giving them satisfaction and happiness. So there's a lot of discontent out there. And the third thing is people are suffering from ill health. It's really, really, 60% of the United States population, people are suffering from major diseases, 60%. That's just one country. So we have it, and Prabhupada has given it to us. And if we read these books and take time to understand more deeply what Srila Prabhupada's given us, and preach. And not only preach, but actually organize in such a way that more and more people will become attracted to Krishna consciousness, because Krishna consciousness is very attractive. And Krishna consciousness will spread all around the world in a very fast way when people who are very influential in society start becoming devotees themselves. Just like, how did Buddhism spread throughout India? Was when King Ashoka became the king at that time. One King Birhambir in Vishnuvanapur, when he became Krishna conscious, he made the whole province Krishna conscious. So to preach to people or to reach people on that level, and we're actually doing that now. It's starting to happen. And if someone in a very high position starts to really push this movement forward, it'll spread really fast. So, of course, we want to make everyone Krishna conscious, not just the people who are popular in the world or have big positions. But these people are very influential, so And that's become more and more the target now for devotees to try to reach such persons. And we're starting to see people who have that inclination to spiritual life are actually taking positions in society. And we see that in America for sure, and other places. Okay, so these are something, and of course, I want to re-emphasize that Prabhupada's last part of his mission is to develop this more simplified way of life. Why? Not as a necessity because things are becoming difficult on the what we say, the way we live now. I don't want to go into that because that's how long. But the point is, it is more easier to practice Krishna consciousness in a more simplified atmosphere where you can simply depend on each other and on nature. Things will spread fast when devotees develop communities and live in a more simplified atmosphere. What is that simplified atmosphere? Growing your own food, keeping cows, living close to nature, and depending on Krishna and nature for everything we need. We're seeing that people who are dependent on the Western society of the material gifts that people are getting, these things that they give us in terms of the stuff we work so hard for, we get money for, and we buy, it's coming from nature anyway. Everything comes from nature. They just take it, repackage it, and make it a business at it, and sell it back to you in a lesser quality. But living in a more simplified lifestyle, and we can talk about the beauty of that too, is that we have more time for Krishna consciousness. And the more time you give to Krishna, the more time you can actually experience the happiness of Krishna consciousness. So yeah, that lifestyle, and this is what Prabhupada, I did a little book. I don't want to push my book, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. There's we have a table back there. It's called Krishna's Way, Natural Living, Back to the Land, Simple Living, Cow Protection. Not only cow protection, but cow care, how to care for cows. Protecting them is one thing, but giving them everything they need to live happily throughout their whole life is the holistic, is the way to actually maintain cows. Not just to get something from them, but to give everything they need to live happily. Of course, it's being done here. We have a nice Goshala, but we need to develop it even more in terms of the agricultural side. And then get away from our dependency on the Western society and become more inclusive as devotees living with devotees, devotees working with devotees, devotees serving with devotees, and devotees doing everything with devotees in a holistic way. And how much that will reduce labor, how much will that reduce the amount of things we need also? Everything will become easier. And that's Prabhupada's vision. So Prabhupada made so many statements about that. In fact, there's thousands of statements that he said about, we have to go back to the land. When Prabhupada was sick in 1977, and he got a little better, and in September 1977, he left India, and he was on his way to Gita Nagari in Pennsylvania, in the US. He stopped here in London. He wanted to stay here and preach for a while. So Prabhupada came here, and he stayed for about a month. And that was glorious. He gave his association to devotees in a very personal way. But his health started to deteriorate. And then after one point, it was decided he could not go on to Gita Nagari, so he went back to India. But his goal was to go to Gita Nagari, and he said, I'm going to show you how to work the land. I'm going to teach you from myself. But Prabhupada was so enthusiastic to get these more simplified farm communities together and teach Varnashram based on these farm communities as the future of our society. For many reasons, not only because of the fallistic inevitability of Western culture, which is happening more and more now, but because of the spiritual aspect, and it's more conducive and more natural to live in that environment. Of course, I can tell an interesting story about cows. Would you like to hear one? Yeah, okay. I was preaching the same thing in America, and I was meeting many wonderful people who are coming from India. So I was talking about the benefits of cows and how cows can provide so much for the human society. And then one gentleman who was there, and he said, Maharaj, you know, we used to live in the village in India, and we had a cow. And if someone in the family would get sick, the cow would know it. She would sense, and then she'd go out into the fields and graze looking for that herb that would cure that person. She would eat it, and then they would milk that cow, and then that milk would be used to give to that person who was sick. And I said, wow, that was amazing. So, and of course, when I went to another group of people and said the same thing, one person said, Maharaj, it's not exactly like that. You don't have to tell the cow. The cow knows. She goes without you even telling it. So the cows are very, if you live close to cows, you'll see how much they can pick up on your energies. They actually know, not exactly what you're thinking, but they know exactly your whole mood, your whole everything. Cows are very, very perceptive, very sensitive. So keeping cows is actually the foundation as for Brahminical culture. Prabhupada writes about that. You cannot have Brahminical culture, which is the foundation for the Vedic culture within society and the worship of the Supreme Lord, unless you take care of cows. So all glories to Bhaktivedanta Manor. They have a nice Goshala, and it's developing nicely. But it's just the beginning. We want that to be everywhere as much as we can, because society is really in need. Okay, there's so much we can say about Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, if you want to find out about me, read my books. He said, I'm in my books. I could tell you a little story. I don't know. I'm not trying to, what you say, put myself in any special position, but this happened to me. I was actually thinking what Prabhupada was saying. Prabhupada said he's in his books, but what does that mean? He's in his books. Is that some euphemism or some just, nice? So I was reading Bhagavatam, and I was reading for a long time. It was maybe for 2 hours. And then at one point, during the reading, all of a sudden, Prabhupada's voice came through the words on the page. I was reading, and then I stopped reading, but I was still reading with my eyes, just following the words, and I was hearing Prabhupada speak the same thing I was reading. It was like listening to a recording. And it went on for a little while, and then it stopped. And I was thinking, Prabhupada said he's in his books. So that was an experience. And so, yeah, he put everything he wanted us to understand in terms of the practice and, of course, what is the knowledge that we would need to understand our relationship with Lord Sri Krishna. Prabhupada put everything in his books. His books are deities. His books are deities. They're actually worshipful because they're actually manifestations of the personality of Godhead in different manifestations, different forms. Okay, so do we have time for questions or comments? Can we do that, or should? Yeah? Is there anyone who would like to add anything or make a question? Yes? Do we have a microphone that we could give? Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very good. Excuse me, why do you say Krishna consciousness is not a part of Hinduism? Because Krishna is one of the main figures in Hinduism. That I find a bit difficult to understand. But I like the idea of the Varnashram College and teaching the Vedas, and I hope you develop that a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the word Hindu is a misnomer anyway. Hindu, you can't find the word, Prabhupada would say you can't find the word Hindu in any religious scripture. It was a term given by the Islamic culture from, where was that one country? I can't remember. They were referring to people on the other side of the Sindhu River as Hindus, but because the S is pronounced H, it came out Hindu instead of Sindhu. So Hindu refers to an area of the world where people have a certain, what we say, lifestyle, but there is no such thing as Hindu religion, although it's been adopted that way. Actually, we are Varnashramis, or we are Vaishnavas. That is actually the terminology. Vaishnava. So when we say Hindu, or even using other terminologies to describe people in a certain religious practice, we're just giving some words based on some connection with geography. But everyone is spirit soul, and there's different paths of faith by which one follows in order to achieve God consciousness. So that which you find in India, it's actually called Varnashrami, or following the principles of Varna and Ashram, or in our case, Vaishnavas, who means to devotees who are dedicated worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Vishnu or Krishna, like that. Does that help? Thank you. Anyone else? I thought I saw another hand somewhere. Okay. No? Okay. Okay, there's one over there. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Nice to see you again. I used to go to Puri a lot, and the temple they used to say no non-Hindus. So, I'm just trying to think what my point was. Yeah, these days I remember going to the Soho Street, 10 Soho Street, and that time Mahajuti Maharaj now, he was the president. So he was saying, some guest came one day, and he was saying, well, what are you? He said, oh, you can just say we're Hindus. And I thought, that's not appropriate. And I never said anything to him, but that wasn't appropriate. I would say, actually, we're Hare Krishna would be better. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you. Sorry, Maharaj.
Yeah, well, we use the term Hindu because it has become adopted in a certain way. But when you get to the actual definition, it's actually Vaishnavas. But we say Hindu because it's been long-term adopted and people identify in that way. So sometimes we say Hare Krishna comes from the Hindu tradition for the sake of avoiding arguments. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a question. If one is already on a spiritual path and we are trying to liberate ourselves from the cycle of birth and death, reincarnation, because maybe we realize in this world it's impossible to be truly happy purely on the material basis, knowing that everything is not forever, everything has an end, and there is so much suffering. So now we have a purpose, for instance, aiming for the spiritual liberation, but if we manage to get to the spiritual world at some point, breaking this cycle, can we really be truly happy there, realizing that there is so much suffering in this material world? And for that reason, maybe that's why once we've learned something on the spiritual side of things, we need to propagate this knowledge and help others as well, rather than just liberating ourselves. Can we really be truly happy in the spiritual world, realizing how much suffering there is here?
Well, Krishna sends his very intimate associates to come to the material world just to do that work. And they come on his request, because Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, wants to see everyone become spiritually happy or God conscious. So to answer, I can answer it with a little story with Prabhupada. When it was Tamal Krishna Goswami, he said to Srila Prabhupada, is there some persons who practice Krishna consciousness who never go back home, back to Godhead, but stay in the material world to preach? Prabhupada got really excited. He became animated. He said, yes. To show that that is actually, that is the heart of the Lord. So whoever has that mood, they become very dear to the Lord, because that's what the Lord comes to the material world just to do the same thing, to make everyone God conscious. So anyone who does that becomes very dear to the Lord. And there is that kind of unhappiness that you mentioned, or we might say incomplete happiness, where as long as there is suffering in the world, I can't simply be satisfied with my own spiritual success. That's love. That's Krishna consciousness. That's the highest you can. Yeah. Nice question, yeah. So to want to go back home, back to Godhead, is nice. It's recommended. But higher than that is to want to give others Krishna consciousness. And even if I have to come back, Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhakti Haitu Kitu Ayi, even if I have to come back life after life, that's not a problem, as long as I can become your devotee. Thank you. Is that all right? Okay, we have another hand over here. There's one on each side.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for sharing. I was wondering if Prabhupada left us a template for what these sustainable farm communities are to look like, or if there are any communities now that are really excelling in executing this model.
There are communities that they're actually trying, but from my own experience, I haven't seen a community that has come up to what Prabhupada wanted in terms of everything. I can name in New Vrajadam in Hungary, they are doing it. They have cows, they have agriculture, self-sufficiently is developing up to a certain point. It's not complete. Gita Nagari in America. There's a few other communities that have sprung up in India and other places that are Krishna conscious. They have cows, they have agriculture, they're practicing it. They're smaller, they're less known. So it is happening, that's for sure, but not fast enough. That's basically the point. It is happening, but it requires, one, dedication, and then there has to be a vision how to make it come about, because it's not, to make the transition from this Western materialistic dependent lifestyle to that type of lifestyle, for most people, it will be quite an endeavor. But it's possible by following Prabhupada's instructions and keeping Krishna in the front. Therefore, the most important thing in any endeavor is to keep Krishna foremost, keep religious principles foremost, and get away from personal motivations. Personal motivations make different things, what we say, less effective. Keeping Prabhupada's instructions foremost. How to do it, discuss it, develop a vision, and then learn how to put that vision in practical application. So it can be done, it is being done, but from what I see, I can see no one has, from my experience, at least from within the ISKCON world, have actually perfected it yet. There's many who are coming close. That means no dependence on anything from the outside world. Everything is there within the community. Educating children, taking care of old people, having your own medical facilities, everything is there. And Prabhupada said 4 things. He said, grow your own food. He said, make your own clothes. Grow cotton, silk, like that, and actually manufacture your own cloth. He said, learn herbs, because he said all the medicine is in nature. If you learn how the herbs work, there's one devotee in New Taliban in America. He has an herb business. He was taking me through the woods and showing me all of the different trees and plants and creepers, saying this is good for this ailment, this prevents this and this. And he has a complete knowledge of how the herbs are there within nature and extracting them. You can do away with doctors. I'm sorry if there's any doctors here, but everything is there in nature. You can even cure cancer. Everything is there in nature, if you know the science. Krishna has put everything in nature in terms of medicine. It's all there. And then the last thing Prabhupada said, build your own houses. He came to New Vrindavan. I was a New Vrindavan devotee for many years. He sat us down. He showed us, in the pencil and paper, he drew a house. He said, this is how devotees should live. It was a very simple dwelling, enough for 4 people, like that. We called it the Prabhupada house. It was very... So he wanted us not to so much become... Because what we work hard for and get money for, we spend for the things that we need. Well, we can get everything directly by community and developing it through the process of living close to nature and developing that knowledge on how to use nature for a livelihood. Everything's there. So, in that little book that I put together, it's on the back table there, If you like a copy, it's just a donation. You can give whatever you can. If you don't have any money, just take a copy anyway. So it's available. I want to get this, because this is very important for devotees to understand that how much we have to get away from this dependency on the materialistic society, which is very precarious. And I think we all know that. People, every time I come to London, people tell me what's going wrong here. It's just like, okay, it's going wrong all over the world like that, but that's just the way materialist society is. It's just collapsing everywhere. Okay, so does that help you in a little bit? Is that okay? Thank you. Anybody else? I saw two other hands up also.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for your insightful words. My question is, in all your years of Krishna consciousness, what is that one ultimate experience or one ultimate realization that you had gained through so many years of following Krishna consciousness?
Oh, thank you. That's my favorite question. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's the chanting of the holy name. And that is the essence of everything. Keeping the holy name as a priority in our spiritual practice and just working to develop the quality of our chanting, everything else automatically becomes natural and easy in our execution of devotional service. Reading the books, developing relationships with devotees, executing our day-to-day services, preaching, everything centers around the quality of our chanting. So for me, chanting. And some people, others, they put their heart and soul in worshiping the deity, and that's wonderful. They make that their, what we say, their focus in developing their Krishna consciousness. They also chant like that, but they put more emphasis on deity worship. That's fine. Others like to read and study the books and become very knowledgeable, and then take that knowledge and turn it into books and articles and preaching. They also chant. But for me, chanting is everything. If I have a choice to read or chant, I'll chant. Although I like the philosophy too. But yeah, so chanting. And Prabhupada, if you listen to Prabhupada's statements, he said, I wrote all my books to get people to chant Hare Krishna. That's basically what he said. Okay, is that all right?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Where are you? Okay.
Thank you for wonderful class. My question is, Prabhupada also said, I read it somewhere, that to get the real peace in the world, the real peace and prosperity for everybody, the state and government leaders should be Krishna conscious. Is there, you have showed us a beautiful picture of the society, devotees working for devotees, everyone is happy, prosperous, no discontentment. Is it possible in future, or is it there in the scope of ISKCON's future to build such a Krishna conscious leaders who can lead the government?
I think it's happening to some degree. And that's really fundamental to spreading Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada began the Krishna conscious movement. He started with one program called In God We Trust. It was a party, political party, where we ran a candidate for president in the United States. That was back in the 70s. I forgot the name of the devotee who was doing that. Huh? Bhaktivedanta? Yeah, Bhaktivedanta Prabhu, he's still. Yeah, and Prabhupada used that as an opportunity to propagate our philosophy in the form of, speaking about making me president, In other words, it became an opportunity to spread Krishna consciousness through the political areas. Prabhupada didn't expect us to win, but he used that. But then after some time, he said, I think we're wasting our time in that area, so we should pull back from there. And then he stopped that whole party. But if people in the secular world, we make them Krishna conscious, and they have, big positions, and they can do that. They can also become leaders and inspire their followers in spiritual life. We have our Tulsi Gabbard. She has now a very big position in America, a huge position. She's the head of all of the security agencies in America. She chants Hare Krishna, and she's not hiding it. She comes out in public as Hare Krishna. And so, that's an example of a person who, got a big position in the world and is a devotee. So more and more like that. Yeah, we want that. And there are devotees who are preaching in areas like that, trying to reach people in those big positions with Krishna consciousness. We have something here in London where devotees are going to corporations, meeting big people in the corporate world. They're interested in improving their ability to become successful in their corporate world, and they see the need for spiritual principles. So they call us sometimes, and we also develop ongoing programs with them. So that's happening. That's happening in different places also. There's two devotees, at least two of them I know. In America, they have their own company where they counsel people in this secular world on Bhagavad Gita. They use Bhagavad Gita as a means to help people understand how they can overcome their struggles in this world. Some of them are interested in the spiritual aspect, and some are simply wanting to apply spiritual principles to their material life. So things are moving in different directions. Lord Chaitanya has a plan to spread Krishna consciousness through even in the medical fields now. They're starting to say that people who chant Hare Krishna, they have better memories, they get over their sicknesses, especially on the psychological level. They're using the chanting to cure people of certain psychological deficiencies. So, of course, we don't propagate using the holy name for material benefit, but somehow or other there's a connection to our movement and to the principles of devotion that people are getting through their own, what we say, occupations. So it's happening. Slowly. Okay? Yeah, but what you say is important. It's really important. Okay, I think we're taking up a little bit too much time because there's other things on the schedule. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Chandramouli Maharaj ki jai. Big round of Haribol for Chandramouli Maharaj. Haribol. Great, thank you. Easy to MC Hare Krishna program. Just get everybody to say Haribol at absolutely nothing. Thank you. Okay, now we have a drama also by the Manor School. And teachers have been working very hard with the children. The children have been working very hard with the teachers. And it looks like almost the entire school is here now. And they have organized a drama about Srila Prabhupada. So once again, a big round of Haribol for the Manor School. Okay, do you want to come on stage? I don't know how it works. Yeah, I guess just move that. Did you want to give an intro or something? You can set up, indeed. Yeah. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Kripa Moya. I'd like to thank Chandramouli Maharaj for a wonderful class. Thank you, Maharaj. We just have a couple of minutes while the children are setting up. And I was reflecting that we've just had Kumbh Mela in India. Srila Prabhupada was also at Kumbh Mela in the 70s. And one day the devotees saw all the different acharyas going by. And they were going by on an elephant. They were going by on a bullock cart. They were very, very glorious. And they turned to Prabhupada and they said, Srila Prabhupada, would you like an elephant? Prabhupada said, no. But if you do get an elephant, I will put Radha and Krishna on the top. This was Prabhupada. Now sometimes we say, because Srila Prabhupada considered himself a servant of Krishna, he was the most humble devotee. And one person asked me one time, they said, if he's so humble, why is his name on everything? Why is his picture at the front of every book, on the back of every book? Why does everybody worship him every day if he's humble? If he was humble, wouldn't he go towards the back? And then we must consider that Prabhupada was trying to do two things. Set a perfect example of humility and devotion to Krishna, but at the same time, set up a movement in which he would be the Acharya for hundreds of years in the future. And this is the second and most important thing. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was in a small town in South India called Udupi. Have you heard of it? Anybody been there? Very nice little place. And there, things have been going for 800 years. 800 years since the Acharya set it up. And everywhere you'll see his picture, everywhere you'll see his statue, everywhere you'll see his name. And it is very important when you're starting something like a hospital or a government or a charity, that you set it up so that it will last. Not 50 years, not 100 years, but minimum 1,000 years. So Srila Prabhupada has told us that he wants this movement to go for 10,000 years. Can we do it? Well, you're all promising, but you'll be long gone. I'll be the first to go. Then will come the middle-aged people here in the room. But our children and their children will be the ones that keep it going. So it's very important that we hear from our children in the next session how Prabhupada has touched their lives. So are the next generation of our movement ready? They're sort of getting ready. I don't know. We started with a very small Sunday school Maharaj. Very small. 25 children. I remember when our Sunday school was 25 children. And now, Yogi, how many children attend the Sunday school every Sunday?
300. But this is the Gurukul doing today.
This is 300 children attend the Sunday school. That's all due to Yogi's very careful management. Thank you, Yogi. I'm giving you a round of Hari Bols. But this is not the Sunday school, this is the Gurukula children. Gurukula means the place of the Guru. So you'd imagine that in a school which is named after the Guru, the Bhaktivedanta Gurukula, that the children would be very insightful as to the gifts that Srila Prabhupada has given them, looking upon him as a kindly great-grandfather. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. So in our next session, we're going to start off with the teenagers. The aim of the next session after this play, after you're fully inspired by this play, is that we will be given a card, and on that card, each and every one of you will write something by which you feel that Prabhupada, his teachings, his example, his publications, his devotees, has touched your life. Please raise your hand if you think Prabhupada has touched your life in some way. Very good. That means everybody. I guess that's why you're all here this morning. We sent out the invitation to everybody. 200 and something of you came. You are the most Prabhupada conscious members of the congregation. Give yourselves a round of applause. So at the end of the next session, you'll be writing something. So please think very carefully what you'd like to write. And that will be taken and tied to a Prabhupada gratitude tree in the Japa garden. And it will be there for at least 10,000 years. Well, about 10,000 minutes, actually, until the rain comes. Are we ready? Okay. That's it. That's my job at the Hare Krishna temple. I just fill in. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Gurukula, the Bhaktivedanta Gurukula, and you'll hear just what they're going to present now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. His Grace Krupamaya Prabhu Ki! So the children at the Gurukul have been really, really intensely practicing this play. They're really, really inspired by Srila Prabhupada. And the reason they're really inspired by Srila Prabhupada is because the teachers at the Gurukul fully immerse them in all of Srila Prabhupada's love. So we'd like to thank the teachers at the Gurukul for really giving the children so much attention, so much kindness, that they are really inspired to do this play for the Vaishnavas today. So this play is a special play. It's called A Bond of Love. It's Mother Amekala, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and her pastimes with him in London. So if you'd like to give the Gurukul children 3 big Hari Bols, please. Haribo! Haribo! Haribo!
And welcome to the Gurukul's play on a pastime between Amekala Devi Dasi and Srila Prabhupada. We hope you enjoy it. Srila Prabhupada Ki! In 1971, Immaculate Devi Dasi received a Back to Godhead magazine from Rajshri Prabhu. She began visiting the Manchester Temple, and in 1973, not long after the devotees acquired Bhaktivedanta Manor, she moved into one of the cottages in the manor property. And in 1974, Srila Prabhupada initiated her by letter. I had the wonderful service of helping to clean Srila Prabhupada's room in the manor in England. As we cleaned, the devotees would often share stories of Srila Prabhupada's kindness and compassion. What? Srila Prabhupada here in England?
Yes, hundreds of devotees from all over England and Europe are coming. We have to make sure this one is perfect. Imagine seeing him in person to actually serve him.
Oh, I don't know if I'll get to see him, but I'll do my best to clean his room nicely. The day Srila Prabhupada arrived, I stayed back from the airport to help prepare his room. Suddenly, I heard the kirtan approaching. Loud, ecstatic. My heart pounded as I knew the kirtan meant Srila Prabhupada was nearby, and I shook with nervousness.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Finally, the temple doors opened and Immaculate saw Srila Prabhupada face to face. Oh my God, there he is.
Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
And then he turned and paid his pranams to me. Me! I could hardly contain myself. Externally, I was a mess on the floor. Internally, I was home.
One day, a few months later, a group of devotees ran to my clothing, banging and screaming on the door.
What on earth is going on?
From Srila Prabhupada.
What? Srila Prabhupada? He doesn't even know who I am.
Here's the letter, Mekhala. What does it say? What does it say, Mekhala? Go on, tell us.
My dear daughter, thank you for cleaning my room. If you continue in devotional service, you will go back to Godhead in this lifetime. He noticed me. Srila Prabhupada noticed me. Later, I was in charge of the kitchen in New Mayapur in France. When Srila Prabhupada came, I was assigned to buy groceries. I couldn't find chapati flour and didn't want to ask any of the devotees for help. Do you have any chapati flour?
Madam, what on earth is this chapati flour?
What? Don't you know what chapati flour is?
Madam, I cannot help you. Please, just take this.
Oh, no, 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 no. If I don't get the right chapati flour, Prabhupada will never write to me again. I didn't tell anyone my problem, but instead bought some flour that looked like chapati flour.
Later, when Amekala took Srila Prabhupada's plate to him, he looked at the plate and then to Amekala and said,
So, you could not find chapati flour?
That was mystical. How did he know it was me who could not find the chapati flour? Later, in New York, I worked at a restaurant with a devotee named Rishi Kumar. He was once an amazing cook and was teaching me cooking, but he had become confused now. Things were different.
Stay away from him. He eats meat now and speaks against Srila Prabhupada. Don't talk to him. Don't even look at him.
Seriously, Amekala, don't approach him.
It can't be good for your Krishna consciousness.
Something in my heart told me that no matter what a devotee does, some way or another we have to let them know that he or she is still a friend. But if nobody talks to him, how will there be any chance of his coming back or feeling welcome in any way? So I was friendly with Rishi Kumar.
You're not judging me?
You're a devotee and Srila Prabhupada loves you.
When Prabhupada came to New York Temple, the following incident happened.
Where is Rishi Kumar?
Prabhupada, I'm sorry he didn't hear, but he eats meat now and speaks against you.
That's okay. Where is he? How are you, my son? Are you going to cook for me today?
You still want me to cook for you?
Of course. Please, cook.
Rishi Kumar cooked for Prabhupada and asked Amekala to help. Srila Prabhupada loved his cooking.
And at that moment, I understood. Srila Prabhupada's love has no limits. Prabhupada saw something in Rishi Kumar that I could only ever hope to see. Even when we fall, even when we make mistakes, the door back to Krishna is always open. We should never give up on anyone because Prabhupada never did. After all, we are all devotees, and at the same time, we are all fallen.
Thank you for watching our play, and we hope you enjoyed it. Shri Radha Bhaktivedanta Ki.
Bye.
Hare Krishna. So obviously we had a wonderful little play by the Bhaktivedanta Manor Hare Krishna Primary School, Gurukul, and they're now going to do a sweet song in homage and in honor of Srila Prabhupada. We hope you enjoy the song as well. So we're just getting prepared. It's called Srila Prabhupada's Cup Song.
Prabhupada went to America with a trunk of books. He chanted Hare Krishna and we all became quite hurt. Prabhupada, we love you. Prabhupada saved us. Chanting Hare Krishna is the process that he gave us. Prabhupada went in the cities to all of those who listen. So let's chant Hare Krishna and spread Lord Chaitanya's mission. Prabhupada, we love you. Prabhupada saved us. Chanting Hare Krishna is the process that he gave us. Prabhupada taught us again to eat and clean and cook. So let's so we need to know can be found in his book. Prabhupada, we love you. Prabhupada saved us. By chanting Hare Krishna is the process that he gave us. Prabhupada said just a short time he went to Krishna's place. So let's pray for his mercy that we never stray away. Prabhupada, we love you. Prabhupada saved us. Chanting Hare Krishna is the process that he gave us. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai!
Jai, Hare Krishna Primary School ki. So yeah, they are the future of our yatra, of our wonderful community at Bhaktivedanta Manor, and please give them all the support you can in whatever way you can as they progress in their lives and in their devotional journey as they go forward. And of course, if there are any parents here or prospective parents who are interested in giving their children an educational foundation, then please enlist them in the Hare Krishna Primary School. They have been successively getting good by Ofsted, so they're getting good quality education, but also with a strong spiritual foundation as well. Hare Krishna Primary School ki!
Thank you so much to the Gurukul and the team. You can all take one last bow and then make your way off the stage. Hare Krishna.
Hello.
So just while the team are clearing things up, for the rest of the program, so there's going to be a talk now by His Grace Kripamoya Prabhu. And then we're going to make our way down to the Japa Garden, where there is Srila Prabhupada's gratitude tree. And then Prasadam is at 2 o'clock. Are you going to sing a song? Ah, awesome. Okay, cool. And we've got one more song from the beautiful children and Luke.
Hello. Haribol. No, you didn't do the cups. You didn't do the cups. One, two. 1, 2. Hello. 1, 2. There once a ship that Prabhupada, the name of the ship was another to top. The winds blew hard, the wind did blow, blow, vayu blow. Soon may Prabhupada come to bring us japa and prashadam. One day so long ago, Prabhupada came to show. No 2 weeks on show when he captured the hearts of all his soul. He sang and preached and cooked and more. He gave us a Maha Mantra. Soon may Prabhupada clear, there is nothing more to fear. Thank you for showing us how to spread kirtan in every town. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Soon may Prabhupada come to bring us japa and prashadam. One day so long ago, Prabhupada came to show. Know that Prabhupada's here, there is nothing more to fear. Thank you for showing us how to spread kirtan in every town. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai!
Let's give one more round of applause for Luke Prabhu and his band. Joe, what name for your band? Okay. I think this has been my favourite festival so far this year, isn't it? Isn't this so fun? Yeah, this is so fun. Okay, so as I briefly mentioned earlier, now we are going to invite His Grace Kripamoy Prabhu onto the stage. Then we will take a walk down to the Jaffa Garden and leave our messages on the Prabhupada tree, the gratitude tree. And then there'll be prasadam at 2 p.m. So let's all raise our hands in the air for His Grace Kripamoy Prabhu, and let's give 3 big Haribals while we welcome Prabhu on stage. Haribol! 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 We're just getting the chair.
Wasn't that a wonderful play and a wonderful song? Where would we be without art and culture? Thank you to Nishkinchan, Chaitanya Prabhus, and the children. Just hold that. I have here in my hands, everybody see, it's a bead bag that was actually used by Srila Prabhupada in the 1970s. And on behalf of Bhaktivedanta Manor, I would now like to present it to our visiting Swami for the day, His Holiness Chandramauli Swami.
Haribo! Srila Prabhupada ki! Transcendental God Brothers ki! We would like to ask people to quieten down now, so either you're staying inside, or if you'd like to have conversations, please take them outside while we prepare ourselves for the talk. So for those that are talking still in the room, please make your way outside.
Somebody once said to me, "Oh, Hare Krishna, you're a noisy lot, aren't you? You wake up at 4:30 in the morning and you have a cold shower. And in the shower you go, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You come downstairs and you start singing at 4:30 in the morning with drums and cymbals. And you have class and it's all singing and dancing. Even when you have breakfast, there's a song before breakfast. Sharirada Vijajao. My favorite song. As soon as I begin singing that song, the saliva starts flowing. But we can also be very quiet as well. One of the ways that we connect with Krishna is in our quiet moments of prayer, our quiet thoughts, and our more moments of contemplation. So we've heard the children singing, we've heard the Swami speaking, Now Kripamoy has come. And I'd like you all to be quiet. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes. Just to think over the next minute or two. What are the gifts of Srila Prabhupada you are most grateful for in your life? Your time begins now. Thank you very much. You can open your eyes. Come back into the room. Thank you. In ancient Vedic times, when there was a public assembly, the king or the teacher would ask for people's opinions. And he wouldn't ask the elders first. He would ask the juniors. Why? Because if the juniors speak first, and their opinion is perhaps challenged or countered by the elders, they won't feel so imposed upon. But if an elder speaks first, and a junior can't speak afterwards. So we have in our assembly today devotees who were initiated by Srila Prabhupada, who have had a whole lifetime to consider what he meant to them. My dear Prabhus, Maharaj, with respect, we will ask you to speak last. But I ask now, are there any children who have an overwhelming thought about Srila Prabhupada and why they're grateful to Srila Prabhupada? We have 2 microphones. I'm going to stimulate our grey matter by going around the room. So 1 microphone for this half of the room, 1 microphone for this half of the room. Any children? Yes, sir. What's your name? Do you have a thought about Srila Prabhupada?
How Prabhupada was kind to even children, how he interacts with everyone.
How he
interacts with everyone.
How he interacted with everyone, even the children, that's right. Okay. Can someone bring this board over? I asked for a pen. We're getting a pen and a board in a Hare Krishna temple, as you know, is a very difficult exercise. You can have the board, but not the pen. Or the pen, but not the board. Sometimes you get the board with the wrong type of pen. It's the wrong type of pen. This movement is going to take over the world. But first, the right type of pen. So, wonderful. Thank you. What's your name? Thank you very much for your thoughts. Yes. Another child, please? Yes. Abhay.
Prabhupada helped my level in kindergarten and Mahamata.
He said Srila Prabhupada helped.
Helped my life by giving me the Maha Mantra.
Helped my life by giving me the Maha Mantra. How old is Abhay?
Abhay's 5.
Wonderful. Even a 5-year-old. Okay, and he's 6 years old. 6 and 7s. Any children would like to say something about Srila Prabhupada, how he helped you, what you know him for? What's your name?
Mai,
Thank you.
by giving us the Maha Mantra.
By giving you the Maha Mantra. Thank you. Anything else? Well, thank you very much. That's wonderful. Any more children? Sorry, adults. This is the future management of the ISKCON movement. We want them to have positive memories. When I was a child, when I was 9 years old in my local church, I was asked to come up to the microphone and read a piece of the Bible. And I remember it even to this day. Children always remember it when you give them the microphone. Because the microphone, you see, is a thing that the children shouldn't have, and they know that. But when you give it to them and you clap, that's wonderful. Any teenagers? Jumping forward a little bit. You have a pen. We will take over the world. One time Srila Prabhupada was in a barber shop in India having his shave done. And the barber had seen Srila Prabhupada previously, and he said, "Oh, it's a very small world, isn't it, Swamiji?" Prabhupada said, "Small? It is completely insignificant." So, can you put down Maha Mantra? Kindness. Kindness. Yeah, Maha Mantra. Next one. Interact with everybody, even children. Very important for a child. Prabhupada came here for the first time that I saw him in 1975. I followed him up into his room, and Prabhupada had just seen a devotee's son. And Prabhupada said, "Your boy is a very happy boy. I've seen him." Prabhupada noticed everything. All right, let's open it up to the grown-ups now. Teenagers. Do we have any teenagers? Teenagers at a Hare Krishna program? Okay, that's good. Okay. Anyway, all right. Anybody in their 20s? Who's it? Put your hands up if you're in your 20s. That's right. Give the microphone to this lady. Do you have something to say? I know that you do. Because previously I asked everybody to put their hand up if something had made them remember Srila Prabhupada. So, microphone up again. Young lady there and a young gent over there. You're in your 20s, sir? Yes. I noticed that you have the clay on your forehead, so, and a bead bag around your neck, so Prabhupada has touched your life and someone will hear next from you. Yes, madam?
The manor, and he gave us the manor and a home in every country that we go to.
Yes, thank you very much. A home in every country. Thank you very much indeed, thank you. Young gentleman over there.
Hare Krishna. This is also the first time I've used the microphone, so if everyone claps, then I'll know it's a good thing. I think for me, just reminding me of my eternal truth, the absolute truth, what I've forgotten in previous lives, and for giving me my life back, really, in a way.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Reminding me of the truth and giving my life back. That's wonderful, thank you. Let's see some animation. Oh, we have another one here, that's very good. Madam, are you in your 20s?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are too?
Yeah. I really loved how fearless Prabhupada was. No matter what, he was never afraid and always saw Krishna's hand in every step. And similarly, he showed us how we can also see Krishna's hand in every step of our life.
Seeing Krishna in every step. Thank you for that. Yes. Now I notice all the 20-year-olds are sitting on this side, and all the old people are sitting on this side.
Over here. I'm also in my 20s. Can I say something?
You are not in your 20s, dear. You're way past that.
I have 1 year left.
Okay. Oh, of course, that's true.
Srila Prabhupada, I think he taught me, or I'm in the process of learning how to love properly. And even when you just look in the picture and you look into Srila Prabhupada's eyes, you just see just like pure love. And I think that's, to be a lover of the Lord and to be a lover of everyone. And he taught us that.
Wonderful. Taught me how to love. Yesterday, when I knew that I was coming here, I chose some pictures of Srila Prabhupada that, to me, sort of summed up a range of qualities. So here they all are. They're all flashing on the screen. Srila Prabhupada had something for everyone, I think. Anybody more in their 20s? No, Mahabhuj. We will squeeze you.
The exact kirtan standards and how to worship, how to see, how do we worship Krishna?
That's two, isn't it? Taught the Gita standards. Taught the Gita standards. You could just put Gita standards. Oh, kirtan standards.
Yes, kirtan standards.
Kirtan standards, yes. Now there's even a book, isn't there? Everything Srila Prabhupada said. This is the generation when everything that Prabhupada said on any subject should be compiled so that the next generation has it all at their fingertips. Very important. Any more young things? There's a but that he's in his 30s, so it doesn't show. It doesn't show. Just keep it a secret. We won't tell anyone. Yeah.
I think when I came to UK from India, the best thing I got is the temple and the association of the devotees here.
Mm-hmm.
So I got another family in UK.
Wonderful. Temple and a family, spiritual family. This is wonderful. When you are saying this to me, I'm hearing it from you for the first time. And everybody else is hearing it from you for the first time. So it's a wonderful thing. It's fresh. Periodically, because I'm so old, I need freshening up with youthful opinions and insights. So very good. Thank you for this group here. Thank you. May you be blessed by Prabhupada. So I'm looking around, I'm scanning. Yes, you, sir? Hare Krishna. We need one more, excuse me 1 second. We need a youthful person who's not pregnant to run around with the microphones, okay? This young lady is with child. So it would be better if someone who had a bit of energy, that's right.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
So Prabhupada built a big one house where every can live in the one house.
Yeah.
Unity in diversity.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Round of applause for that man. Unity and diversity, that's what's coming up here. This side. We're not going to let you go. Lock the doors, please. All right, anybody between the ages of 30 and 40? Anybody who wishes they were between the ages of 30 and 40? Okay, there's one back there. What Prabhupada means to me.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So Prabhupada has taught us how to serve.
Prabhupada taught us how to serve. Yes, very important quality. You know, today, if you translate the word das or dasi that people get when they become initiated, nobody likes that word. Servant. Servant. Everybody wants to be the master of something or someone. But to be the servant means to be very low, doesn't it? Except if servant of God, curiously enough, becomes the highest in society. And Prabhupada taught us how to be the greatest by being the lowest. Thank you very much for that one. Okay. Another one here.
Hare Krishna. I love how Prabhupada told us, I never forgot in my life about Krishna. So I think that's a great teaching.
Yes, I never forgot Krishna. You know, one thing Prabhupada said is very interesting. He said, you can teach something, but setting an example is better than a precept. So because Prabhupada was, he had told the devotees one day in a talk, he said, a pure devotee never forgets Krishna. Therefore, a pure devotee can never fall down. The next morning he came to darshan, and he was praying for a long time in front of Radha and Krishna. And the devotee asked him later in his room, Srila Prabhupada, may I ask you please, what were you praying for? Prabhupada said, I'm simply praying that I will never fall down from Krishna consciousness. But Srila Prabhupada, yesterday, you told us that a pure devotee can never fall down. He said, yes, because he's always praying, my Lord, may I never fall down. Wonderful. Never forgot Krishna. It's all young people sitting 9 rows back there.
Hare Krishna.
Oh yes. Are you under 40?
Yes.
You are. Just check. We have very tight rules here. Go ahead.
He taught us how to serve, but also the mood of service.
How to?
The mood of service.
The mood of service.
There's the action of serving, but the mood of serving as well.
So you're saying someone may mechanically serve, but the mood of a servant is not there. Very important, yes. We're not interested in empty rituals or mechanical service. We're interested in the mood of a servant. Wonderful, very important. Thank you very much. Someone I saw with their hands up.
Yes.
Nothing from this block here. Either you're all over 40 or you're still wondering. Yes, madam. Another one down here.
Hare Krishna. Prabhupada set the example for prasadam very high. And so I'm grateful to him because we get to eat such deliciousness because of his example.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. When Prabhupada was taking prasadam one time, he said, if we only had philosophy in this movement, but we had no prasadam, this movement would be very dry. So yes, thank you very much for that one. Prasadam. You got it. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So what I've heard from classes and from disciples of yourselves is I've learned that Prabhupada accepted anyone and he created a movement that will receive anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of role model to me how I can, role model to my daughter and how to be a devotee in an accepted mood of everyone and show compassion to everyone.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. You are accepted. You belong. Yes. Can you put acceptance, belonging? I think it was Kishore. It was Kishore, actually. I've been in the temple for 2 weeks, and I was wondering, as many of us do, should I go, or should I stay, or what should I do with my life? So I'd sold a few books during the week, and Kishore was reading out the results to Radha Gokulananda, and he gestured in my direction. He said, so now we have Mick. Mick is with us now, taking the movement forward. And I thought, okay, I better stay. Okay. If you're over 40 and you don't mind everybody knowing your age, how are you feeling? Over 40, we won't ask any more questions.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Give us a
All
wave.
glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah. I'm 21 in my heart, so you can figure out however much you want to see me in my physical body. Okay. I would say unconditional love to every soul on this earth. His love is indescribable in words. I also would say our breath, for having a breath and staying alive. Lots of us are saved in lots of situations. And the third one I would say is all our failures and falls.
Is what, sorry?
All our failures and falls. The things that we think we have problems. Because those are actually for us to learn our lessons and to grow spiritually.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for that. You know, one time we were in a place called Sheffield. It's a northern industrial city. And we met a young man. Actually he was a middle-aged man. And he said, oh, I've seen your Swami Prabhupada before. And I thought, well, he's seen the picture on the book or he's seen something before. He said, no, I met him. I thought maybe he met him in a group or maybe visited the temple once when Prabhupada was here. He said, no, he picked me up. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I was sleeping on a park bench in London. And he woke me up with his walking stick. And he asked his disciples to bring me back, give me a shower, and give me breakfast. And then when I'd had breakfast, I went into his room, and he spoke to me the teachings of Krishna for an hour. It was just me and him. And I've always remembered him, how kind he was. We were just like, you know. We would also like to have sat in front of Prabhupada for an hour, but he had the mercy. Thank you very much. One more from over this section. Go on, somebody from this section. That's it, madam. Good. Quickly before she forgets. Run, 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 run. If you're not pregnant. That's it, lovely. And can the next person on this side be getting ready too, please? Put your hand up. One at the back, okay, right.
Hare
Yes, please.
Krishna. I'm eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada because he gave his transcendental mercy to us and so that we are able to pass that on to others. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, yes. That's wonderful, isn't it? If I have a banana, I can give you a banana. If I have gold, I can give you some gold. If I have transcendental teachings, I can give them to you. If I have one banana and I give you a banana, I've got nothing. If I have a gold coin and I give it to you, I have nothing. If I have transcendental teachings and I give them to you, I have everything. Because the very act of giving transcendental teachings to another gives you more. So you end up with more. So it's a great investment. Thank you very much. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Kripamoy Prabhu. I don't know how to pronounce. So, Prabhupada is teaching me what the purpose of life is and where I should be seeking shelter.
We just start cramming in. Summarize your teaching into one word as well. So shelter. Thank you very much. We're getting to the end. Someone who hasn't spoken yet. Thinking. You're thinking, that's right. We have, yes. We'll work our way up to the Prabhupada disciples. You'll have the last laugh and the last round of applause. And out of everything that you'd like to say about Prabhupada, can it be summarized in 1 or 2 words? That's good. So we have another one over here.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Where are you?
Oh,
That's it, good. Thank you very much.
yeah, I grew up in India, but I learned the essence of what Krishna is and Krishna consciousness is after coming to the UK. And I think the most valuable thing, if I have to say above and everything what everyone has said, is all the scriptures that we have, the Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, I would have never managed to read and understand them if it was not for Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. I was a young man of about 15, and I'd been reading some books, and they said, you must read the Bhagavad Gita. So I got a little Bhagavad Gita that had been published in India. If that was my access to divine reality, I never would have been here, never would have understood anything at all. Prabhupada took the Bhagavad Gita and he made it available to us, understandable, for generations of people, in a very wonderful way. Otherwise it's inaccessible, making this something which was inaccessible, accessible. Thank you. Another one over here, trying to balance it so we can...
Hare Krishna.
Wave, give me a wave. There you are, very good.
Hare
A very
Krishna.
active section here. Are you from India as well?
Yes.
You see, you come from India, you've got a bright mind. Stay in London for a few years and the water dulls you down. Something in the water. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. My point is related to what Mataji just said. It's the books. I think the books helped us so much to understand what Krishna is and everything around. So books.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Yes, that's good. She's come all the way from India for that. Give her a round. So good. Who is nervous of speaking into a microphone? You've got something that you want to say, but you're nervous. You're never nervous. Who would rather? Yes, over there. You're all doing very nicely.
Prabhupada gifted a way to know Krishna as a person.
Oh, yes. Beautiful. No matter how many books you read, no matter how many scriptures you read, you would never, ever, ever have come to the conclusion that God is a blue boy who plays the flute. Isn't it? Never would have come to that conclusion. It's so counterintuitive. Okay, good. And finally, that's right. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
On the front row. One more over here. Navi.
Hare Krishna.
The ever youthful Navi.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances.
Who's humble obeising me?
All grace to Srila Prabhupada.
Just so you know, you don't have to say that before you speak, but...
First, when I read Bhagavad Gita,
Right.
first thing came to me, Srila Prabhupada said, you are not the body, you are the spirit soul. So that was the wonderful lesson I've ever had. I never knew that I'm not the body, I'm the spirit soul. So I'm beyond my body and I'm the spirit soul. I'm connected to Krishna. That was the most important thing for me, to be connected to Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. That's the beginning, isn't it? Everything comes from that. Atma Gyan. So just puts the word soul. Just soul. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. As someone who is definitely not in the under 40s category, I take great inspiration from the fact that in his senior years, Prabhupada, who could have been enjoying a wonderful retirement in Vrindavan, just concentrating on his own spiritual life, actually had the courage to take up the challenge of his spiritual master and come to the West, and with all the hardships that he endured, to actually carry out the order of his spiritual master and actually set up this wonderful society that we know as ISKCON. And that's all because he had the courage in his latter years to do that. So I take great inspiration from that, that it's never too late.
Courage.
Thank you.
Courage. And may you also be gifted with courage in your life. Yes. Now there's even business books I've seen published just commenting on the fact that Srila Prabhupada was one such person who started a business at the age of 70. Where's the business that you could start at the age of 70? By sitting under a tree, banging a little drum, and chanting 3 words, Hare Krishna and Rama, over and over again. If you went on Dragon's Den, they would say, I'm sorry, I'm out. We're not going to give you any money for that business. Okay? But Prabhupada had great faith, and everything came from that. How wonderful. So let's all have courage as well. Another one? How are we doing for time, by the way, Nityapriya? She's gone. She's left the room. How are we doing for time? Huh? We should head towards writing. Okay. So one more. All right.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I'm 54 and I'm not pregnant. So I...
You're so qualified.
I think for me, Prabhupada was truly off the bodily platform in terms of, he didn't discriminate between age, race, religion, cultural background. He truly was someone, from what I see and observe, writings and actions, truly off the bodily platform. And it's not an easy thing to do, day in, day out. But I think that was Prabhupada's main engine, I think, for his mission, was that he didn't see things in a mundane way at any time, or sectarian, or whatever.
Yeah, off the bodily platform. Now there's a very special mantra, and it goes like this. Not Om, but And that indicates your pleasure. I'm going to read out 14 qualities that Prabhupada had. And according to how you agree with those, I'd like you to go, Okay? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Slightly unconventional, but maybe we can do that in the future. When we introduce a devotee on stage, instead of the MC saying a round of Hari Bols, maybe we can say, please give this devotee a round of mms. Okay, so here we go. Srila Prabhupada was the perfect representative of his own guru and kept the lineage intact and flourishing. No one could beat Srila Prabhupada in an argument. He gave us intellectual strength. Okay, slightly less. He created a good example, for example is better than precept. He knew the Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, translated them, and taught them every day. He had resolute devotion, unfailing in all circumstances, even in his disappointment, loss, or physical pain. He was free from deceitful speech, and he always told the truth. He introduced deity worship all over the world. In fact, Prabhupada said, I have given 4 unique contributions to the world. Deity worship, festivals, prasadam distribution, and Srimad Bhagavatam. These are my unique gifts. Thank you for supporting me. He made his disciples his friends, and they made us their friends. He was expert in the art of compassion and correction, 2 elements of the Guru's life and teaching. He arranged things so that his movement would endure over the coming centuries. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Thank you very much. No, run out of time. Nope. Round of applause for what would have been your greatest statement. What we shall have now, Prabhuji. Yes, I was joking with you. Go on.
The greatest gift that Srila Prabhupada gave me was his God brothers and sisters. All my God brothers and sisters, basically.
Maharaj, your greatest gift of Srila Prabhupada? You were asked that question, I think, and you said Mahamantra. Do you want to add anything to that?
Well, everyone that I wanted to choose was taken, so I have to think of another one. But one of the ones I liked is that, there's a few of them, but there's one that when Prabhupada spoke, he spoke with surety. In other words, it was not maybe, perhaps, I think it's like this is it. And that actually convinced me when I first came in contact with Krishna consciousness. And I never heard anyone speak with such certainty, surety.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Surety. S-U-R-E-T-Y.
Another one is that if you were a rascal, he told you.
Direct speech. Direct speech, no fluff. All right. So now what we will do, thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. I would like you now, having been stimulated by everyone else, to write down what you think is the main gift. It may be that which you've spoken already. It may be that which you've heard from someone. And you're going to receive a pen and a card. And very quickly we can give those out, please. You just take a few moments. After that, what we will do you want to explain to me? After that, there is a, don't all leave, please. No, where's he going? That's it. Okay. Do not leave, because we need your contributions for the tree. There is a tree in the Japa garden, which has been designated as the Prabhupada Gratitude Tree. Here on this day, this holy occasion, where you've expressed your gratitude to Srila Prabhupada, we would like you to come with us, with kirtan, having written your expressions of gratitude on the label and to affix it to the tree. You can write as much or as little as you like. Please have a way of more people giving out these. That's it. That's it. On the other side there, everybody's anxiously waiting. We need about 6 people giving these out. That's it. Write your contributions. If you don't have one of these, put your hand up so the givers can see you. They're much quicker in the Jehovah's Witnesses church. They're really quick. Thank you. I'll leave your writing to you. All of these people in the corner have not received one. Now we open, have you got one? You've got one, okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Okay. So if you've written something on your card, that's very nice. Bring your card with you, collect your shoes, and we will assemble in the courtyard because Srila Prabhupada will be leaving here with kirtan out this door, and then we'll process around the corner and down to the garden.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Before you go, can we please have a big thank you for His Grace, Kripamoya Prabhu. Also, we have a gift for Kripamoya Prabhu. It's a towel that was used by Srila Prabhupada. We would like to ask Chandramoli Maharaj to give that gift to Kripamoya Prabhu.
Nectar of Instructions, verse number 3, talks about the 6 loving exchanges between Vaishnavas. And one of them is giving a gift, and the other half of that is receiving a gift. So one who gives a gift is giving love, and one who receives a gift is also getting love or giving love at the same time by receiving a gift of love. So we want to happily offer this towel that was used by Srila Prabhupada to Kripamoya Prabhu. Thank you for all your wonderful preaching and your inspiring devotees in so many ways.
Srila Prabhupada ki. Okay, so if we can take all our notes, whatever you've written, we're going to follow the kirtan. So the kirtan is over here, Jagannath Kirtanananda Prabhu is here. So if you put your shoes on, come out here, take all your things with you, take your belongings with you, don't leave them back here. And then we'll go to the Japa garden, hang our messages on the gratitude tree, after which we will go for prasadam at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody. Hare Krishna.